Okay, this one is going to be a little bit of a story time, but always story time that involves the so-called astral plane that is nothing but one landmass, touchable, tangible, and spaces and places that you have engaged with throughout your entire life and beyond. And so, what I'm going to talk about today is the Poppet, the actual voodoo doll, the hoodoo doll, whatever the titling is, far as the actual thing that you make to affect the opposition or those that are against you or that you feel that is against you. You can even make it to just plainly stop a situation. It's so many things you can do with something that is, it's called a doll, but it shouldn't be really called a doll or in association to a toy because it is not a toy. It is very potent and real. And so when I was in other locations doing my traveling and communing with spirit, what I was shown as well is that when I was younger, I used to play with paper dolls. I used to have something called paper dolls. I had a paper doll set. I had used to also use my construction paper and everything else and make hair and dresses and suits and shoes, and even had little, I don't know what I use, screws and stuff for buttons. I use those things. And what I didn't realize is every time I transferred slash went into what they call the astral realm, I saw that puppet. I saw that actual thing that I had made, that being. It was a being that I had started to make. And I did not know at such, let's say, a young age, and I didn't have the full awareness available to me at that time to know that I could have started right then commanding. I could have started right then commanding even to just protect me instead of just go and attack someone else. I had been a creator even then, even at that size. My origin and my beginnings was already shown to me just in my creativity of making that paper doll. And it soon increased to me literally playing with what I was playing with was my babies and toys and things and designing the hair and placing on different clothes and different things like that. That was no different from those paper dolls that I had had instead of the actual cloth that let's say, I upgraded to. So, when I or you go into those locations now that you're an adult, some of the actual beings and things that you see is your puppet, is your doll, is that thing that you thought was just your imagination as you sat on that floor as a boy or a girl and played with. You're seeing your creation. You're seeing all those stories that you once upon a time made up in your head, and you thought they were just going to stay in your head. No, they moved through the ether and was awaiting your command, whether it was to bring you good fortune, to change your life, to shut your mother up from bugging you or your father up from bugging you. And then what did you see? You saw that as a little kid when you, let's say, I'm going to say this. Once upon a time, okay, I didn't know I was going to put this in here, but I'm going to. The mother that I have in here, right, made me very upset when I was a child. And I had a doll, and I went and wrote her name on the forehead of that doll and chopped off the hair of that doll. And I started imagining all the things that I wanted to happen to the one that says she is my mother, all those things. And so, what I found out later by spirit is all those things that I wanted to happen. I seen later on as I was an adult. I seen it as though it was nothing more but a dream. But when I came back to what it looks like this in this portion of the life, it was as though nothing was happening to anything that I had created with my puppet or my dolls or whatever they want to title them. It was as though nothing was done. But guess what? That's why I teach you guys that it's only one land mass. All those things that you see in this so called dream world, which is not a dream, it is all about your current life and your past life, things that you have engaged in. Whether they look combobulated or not, it's all things you have engaged in. And I saw what I had created, but I saw it as though I was just a passerby. I saw it as though, hey, that doesn't look like me. I'm not that little kid, when in fact I had transformed and I was that little kid in that house, looking at the exact mother that was that exact age at that same time, and all those things that I wanted to happen to that mother was happening to her right then and right there. Right then. So those things and those imaginations that you thought was just your imagination playing with that toy that's not a toy had already begun with your thinking that's not thinking. You are a creator, traveler, and your actual creations goes far beyond this world, or let's say the lifespan that you see. It goes beyond that. And I know personally that mine goes beyond that. So it's so many things. You were a creator before you were a creator. You were a creator before you even knew you were a creator. And I need to tell myself, because I'm speaking to myself, I was a creator before I was a creator, before I was allowed to know that I was a creator. Things I said before, this is what I had said. I said, when I came and I landed in this spot, things already had a leg up on me. Things already had an advantage of telling me how things went and what things were. And by them already having a leg up on me, I had no say so to say, hey, that's not what that is. That's not how you use that. That's not what you're supposed to do. I was coming in the interim of the life, so I thought, but this wasn't my first life. This was a continuum from another one. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm not a beginner, and neither are you. Some of those instincts and things that you know about is like suppressed and made for you to think that you don't know anything about that. You're a boy. You're a girl. No, you're an expert. You are a savant in that thing that you know, in that thing that you want to express through your puppet or your doll that is not a toy. So I guess I'll end this just by saying, we don't play with toys. We actually activate real things. And the things that you have activated is in what they title the, let's say, astral plane, the dream world, the spirit world. No, it's just a world like any other. And that's the place that you travel through often.